It's vintage day today, and I have an old Sony reel-to-reel from the late 1960s. This is a mono deck, a TC800B, 4-speed mono reel-to-reel. Let's check this one out and see what work needs to be done on it. I get this little Sony 4-speed reel-to-reel given to me. This one's a TC800B, and it's actually set up for 240 volts. As you can see here, it says AC, or actually 220, AC 220, DC 12. But apparently it will operate on 120 because it's got a 120 cord. And as you can see, the reels turn on 120. I'm curious to see if this thing actually works. So let's load it up. I got it with a couple of tapes, so we can throw some tapes on here and just see, first of all, if there's anything recorded on these tapes. This will take 3-inch and 5-inch reels, but it will not take 7.5-inch. And this is a mono recorder. This unit has 3 speeds. It has 7.5, 3 3/4, 1 7/8, and an even slower 15/16 speed. The 15/16 was for dictation. It's obviously going a little bit quick. Let's try the next speed down. This might even be recorded at the incredibly slow 15/16 speed. Doesn't sound like there's anything on here. Oh yeah, there is something. It's too slow.
On this one, this is a blank tape, but it was on that one. I'm sure it's on this one. Too bad it wouldn't go fast. Oh, that was a good job. You should have said no. Stop in the name of it.
Always interesting what you find on old tapes. Could be someone just talking. It could be music. I've got a couple tapes with this. This one here says good tape, disposable content. And it says side 1, 7.5 inches, musical game, the Hokey Pokey. I have to listen to that. And here's another tape. This one's a Bell Clear recording tape, made in Canada by Audio Magnetics Corporation. If you look at the price on this thing, it was purchased at London Drugs, and it looks like they paid a full 52 cents. That look about right? 52 cents? We'll see what's on these other tapes. And then we're going to take this thing apart, and we'll take a look at the inside workings of this unit, and we'll actually try making some recordings. Now this unit you could plug an external microphone into it here. It also had a built-in internal mic, or you could mix the two of them together. And then you could set your levels. Now the recording level control, the knob is missing, but we can still adjust the control here. It has a battery check button for when it's operating on batteries, and you can set your levels manually or automatic. Has auto level control or manual level control. Manual level control actually should make this thing sound pretty good for recording music, even though it's mono. And we'll try that too. We'll plug an auxiliary source into this thing and try making some recordings on it. On the front there's a speed control, speed tuning, so you can actually change the speed slightly. It's like a pitch control.
You go tomorrow, and if I don't happen to make it, I'm going to try and see in case unless the kids forget to mount this up tomorrow. Would you run yourself through my app back and see if it's still there?
As you can see, fast forward is working. There's plenty of torque, so there's no worn idlers on this unit. It's actually in very good condition. Rewind. We'll try one of the other reels of tape here. I think this one said it was recorded at 7.5, so we'll switch up to the 7.5 speed.
Hello there, this is Paul Wing, and I've come to ask you to join the fun. What kind of fun? Why, story fun. You all ready? Then listen. Once there were 4 little rabbits, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter.
That's me!
They lived with their mother in a sandbank under the root of a big tree. Now Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail always did just what their mother told them to, but not Peter.
Not me!
Got a tone control on the front as well.
One day their mother said, I must go to market to buy some blackberries for supper. You children play near the house. And please, please.
Let's take a listen and see what's on this tape.
Chapter 1.
Kids singing. Wonderful. I think we'll erase this. Sounds like this might have been a like a school concert or something. Anyway, I have no need to keep that, so let's wipe it. Let's do some recording on this thing. And we'll see how this unit sounds. Now, I'm just going to wipe it using the internal tape head. So now I'm in record. I've got the external microphone here, and I can set the level using the gain control over here. It also has auto recording for both auto level recording for both speech and for music, or a full manual control. We'll see how this sounds of this recording. So now I'm in record. I've got the external microphone here, and I can set the level using the gain control over here. Sounds like that gain control needs to be cleaned. Auto recording for both auto level recording for both speech and for music, or a full manual control. We'll see how this sounds of this recording. So I think what we'll do is we'll take this thing apart, and I'll get in here with some deoxit or contact cleaner, and we'll clean that up. Then I'm going to try making a recording using the line input, and we'll record in the various different speeds just to demonstrate the sound quality differences between the various speeds. The fact that this one had a cover that would snap shut meant that this one could be used portable, because as you notice, the tape hubs have a locking spring that locks the reel onto the hub. So when the unit is closed like this, the unit can be carried as a portable. It even has a handle, making this one of the first portable tape recorders I think probably that Sony had. Before the cassette, of course, right? So this, just to give you an idea how old this is going to be, this is going to be probably early, I'm going to say probably early to mid 60s. I'm probably way off because I haven't looked it up. We'll remove these screws to access the mechanism. These are a type of an anti-magnetic screw. They're called mu metal, so they will not stick to a magnetic screwdriver. And this unit actually is in relatively good shape, despite the fact that some bozo put his social insurance number on here at some point. That was what they used to tell you to do if you wanted to protect your equipment from theft. They would say, put your social insurance number on it. Of course, nobody would ever do that today, because it's a good way to get someone to steal your social insurance number and steal your identity. Okay, I gotta take this speed control off. So the whole cover lifts off just like that. And here's the inner workings of this unit. It does feature a servo motor to power the capstan, and a large belt that is used for fast forward and for rewind. This belt here is the counter belt that you see flopping around there. Here's our drive belt for rewind. So one single belt that operates the unit. In case you're wondering, I believe this is a direct drive motor on this. There are no belt drives. This is actually the motor here. You can see it on the bottom. If I turn it over, it actually protrudes from the bottom. This is a direct drive capstan motor, and a servo controlled one at that. Okay, let's get some cleaner into the level control over here. It's just a single pot because it's a mono machine. So I'm just going to grab my can of neutral. We'll give it a shot. I'm actually going to give a little bit of a shot right into the control there too, just because it's very stiff. That'll lubricate it a bit, make the control turn a little easier. While I'm at it, I'll also give the switches here clean. So just clean these switches. The record play switch is in the front here. You can see it activated right there when I switch the switch. So we'll give the record play switch a little shot of cleaner as well. You people might wonder what I'm going to do with this machine. After all, it's just a mono machine. This is going to go into my personal collection. However, everything has a price. And if somebody out there really wants this unit, and they come to me and ask me about it. Ask me if I will sell it. Yeah, if somebody really wants it bad enough, I might be able to be persuaded to part with it, or the Grundig that I have, or the other Sony reel-to-reels that I have. Everything has a price, as they say, right? So if somebody wants this bad enough, it's available, and now it's serviced. Of course, one reason for keeping a piece like this in my collection is because of the 15/16 speed. Although that doesn't seem relevant these days, I do archive tapes for clients, and I have had some tapes come in that were recorded in 15/16. Obviously they are they're just voice tapes on the little 3-inch reels. I've had a number of them that have come in to be transferred over to CD, typically. A lot of them were wartime recordings, recorded on submarines and stuff, and mailed back. Submarines and warships. The last one I had was from World War II, and the fellow that recorded it sent the tapes home, and his daughter, who's now probably in her 60s, I guess, brought this tape of her. It was either her dad or her grandfather, but she'd never heard the tape, and it was in 15/16. So what I had to do is I actually had to play it, and the only machine I had available, it had 1 7/8 and 3 3/4 and 7.5. Actually, I think I used my Grundig, the Grundig mono machine. And anyway, I played it at higher speed, and I recorded it on Audacity, and then used the speed correction to slow it down. It would have been much easier just to play the tape at the right speed and just record it right onto a CD or onto a cassette or whatever it was wanted onto. In this case, it was a CD, so I had to record it on the computer anyway. So I recorded it fast and slowed it down. But it would have been nicer to be able to play it at the right speed and not have to worry about changing the pitch and slowing it down after the fact. Okay, this thing is ready to go. I'm going to load up a tape. I'm going to get some music into the auxiliary input, and we'll do a recording of some royalty-free music and see how it sounds. So first I'll thread the tape up again. I'll just use this tape as it's handy. And I'll make a recording. We'll record at all 4 different speeds so that you can hear the difference in the sound quality between the 4 speeds. On the right hand side here, there's a switch marked monitor. That's for the speaker, off, level 1 or level 2. And to monitor, all we need to do is pull the record switch down to record without actually engaging into the record. We can hear the music. We can see our levels here on there's a little crack there in the lens. Oh well. We can set our record levels. So first I'm going to make a recording in the 7.5-inch speed, and then we'll make a recording in the 3 3/4, 1 7/8, and 15/16, so that we can hear the difference in the sound quality between all 4 speeds. First thing I'll do, I'm just going to put a bit of blank tape at the beginning as a lead in. Okay, we'll cue the music up. Yeah, that'll work, that one I think. So we'll pick that next track, number 212, on my recorder, on my player here, We'll start recording, and I'll hit the pause button to release it. So I'm going to let this record. We're going to do the same thing for the other 3 speeds. Be right back. Now that is slow. It's going to be interesting to hear how pathetic the sound is at that speed. I did look up the production of these, and the TC800 was produced from 1966 right through to 1974. Now this is the TC800B. The difference between the TC800 and the 800B is the addition of the 4th speed. The TC800 only has 3 speeds, 1 to 7/8, 3 3/4, and 7.5. And the frequency response that's listed for the TC800 is 60 to 18K when using 7.5 IPS. So the frequency response is not going to be good at the low speed. It's going to be terrible. But what I'm going to do is when I play this tape back, I'm actually going to feed it right into the camera using my little cable that I made up. You're only going to get sound out of one channel though, because it is monaural, and we'll bounce it to both tracks, I guess, when I do it. But anyway, that will be we'll play back this tape, and we'll do a direct recording right from the tape right into the camera. So that's coming right up as soon as I rewind the tape. Okay, here's playback in 7.5 inches. Let's play around with the pitch control. Yeah, slow it right down. And of course, speed it right up. Okay, that's the 7.5 inch playback. Let's take a listen to the next speed down, which is 3 3/4 IPS. You can certainly hear the difference in the sound quality between the 7.5 and the 3 3/4. There's a fair bit of distortion I can hear in the bass, and the high frequencies are certainly rolling off. And this is only going to get worse as we go to the next speed, which is 1 7/8. So let's take a listen. Now, as poor as this speed sound quality is, it actually was a very commonly used speed, and what this speed was used for was audio logging. It was used for logging the audio track for television broadcasts and even radio broadcasts, where they wouldn't use a small reel like this. They'd use like the big 7.5 or even 10-inch reels, but they would run the recorder at 15/16 because radio stations and television stations, for their license requirements, needed to maintain for 30 days after a program broadcast. They needed to maintain an audio log of everything that went out on the transmitter, so that if the FCC came calling, or the CRTC in Canada came calling to find out if somebody swore or something, they'd have to go back and find the tape. And it was all done at this low speed because sound quality did not matter. But that's 15/16 to say it's basically good enough for spoken word. It's no good for music, but this machine has it, and that's something that's quite unique because a lot of machines did not have the 15/16 speed. Well, as you can hear, the sound quality between the 3 or the 4 speeds is quite dramatic, to say the least. The 15/16 IPS, which is also known as 2.4 centimeters per second, is really only useful for recording voice conversations. Telephone calls, etc. would work fine for that. But as far as recording any type of music, forget it. It's not gonna do a job. The 7.5 IPS speed, of course, sounds actually pretty good. It's not as good as even a good cassette deck, which would deliver frequency response upwards of 20 kilohertz. This one here tops out at 18. But again, this is old technology. This is late 60s into the early 70s. I don't know precisely when this particular unit would have been made, but if we look at the serial number of the unit, that might give us an idea. 12,464 is the serial number on this unit, made by Sony Corporation in Tokyo, Japan. But there it is. That's a neat old piece. I just looked one up on eBay, and one recently went for $109 US, and there's another one actually listed starting at that same price. And there's another one listed at $199. But something like this, if someone wanted one of these bad enough, hey, you know who's got one, and you know that this one works. A lot of the ones you see advertised, you'll see them advertised for $40, $50, and it says condition unknown. This one here, if someone wants one of these, you know what you're getting. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.